My name is Evelyn Walker. I'm 72 years old, and I've seen enough of life to know that people often surprise you, but never in the way my step-grandson, Tyler, did. The pain of what he did still lingers, like a thorn stuck deep in the fabric of my heart. I never imagined he could be capable of something so calculated, so personal, and so devastating. I married Richard Walker when I was 45. He had lost his wife 3 years prior and had 2 grown sons from that marriage. I never had children of my own, so stepping into a family with 2 boys was daunting, but I tried to be gracious and patient. One of those sons, Mark, eventually married and had a son of his own, Tyler. I met Tyler when he was just 4 years old, a shy, quiet boy who clung to his mother's legs and wouldn't speak to anyone. But over the years, I helped raise him in a way, especially after his parents divorced when he was 10. He'd spend weekends at our house, sometimes even full summers. I taught him how to make pancakes from scratch, how to weed a garden without hurting the roots, and how to stitch up a ripped shirt. I thought we had a bond that couldn't be broken. Richard passed away 7 years ago. Losing him was hard, but the presence of Tyler in my life helped ease the loneliness. By that time, Tyler was 22, a bright young man with charm, ambition, and a smile that could win over the most cynical soul. He often stopped by to check on me, fix things around the house, brought groceries without being asked. I'd sit on the porch swing and beam with pride whenever neighbors complimented him. I even decided to make changes to my will. I had no biological children, and Tyler was the closest thing I had to family. I left the house to him and added his name to a few financial documents. It felt like the right thing to do. He cried when I told him, saying he'd never forget my kindness. And then everything began to unravel. It started with a phone call from my bank. "Mrs. Walker," the manager said, "we noticed a few large withdrawals from your savings account over the last couple of weeks. Just wanted to verify that they were authorized. I hadn't touched that account in months." My stomach sank. I asked him to read out the transaction history. 4 different transfers. All online. All to an unfamiliar account number. The total was over $62,000. "I didn't authorize any of those," I said, my voice trembling. "We suspected as much, which is why we flagged the account." I contacted the police. They came to my house, took statements, investigated. And then, a few days later, one of the detectives returned with grim news. "Mrs. Walker, we tracked the IP address used for the online transfers. They came from a laptop registered under the name Tyler Bennett." My world stopped. "Tyler?" I couldn't believe it. I refused to believe it. "There has to be some mistake," I whispered. "I understand this is difficult," the officer said gently. "But the laptop was used at a local coffee shop, and surveillance footage confirms Tyler was there on all 4 dates the transfers occurred." I still tried to rationalize it. Maybe he was framed. Maybe someone stole his computer. Maybe. But then I remembered. A week before the transfers began, Tyler had asked to use my laptop while visiting. "My battery's dead," he said casually. I didn't think twice about it. He could have easily logged into my online banking account. I never logged out. I trusted him. I confronted him the next evening. He showed up at my house with that same charming smile. I had to physically hold the doorknob to stop my hands from shaking. "Come in," I said, barely able to make eye contact. We sat at the dining table, the same one where we'd shared Sunday breakfasts and played board games in summer evenings. "I need to ask you something," I said. "Sure, anything," he replied. "Did you take money from my account?" His smile faltered for the briefest second, then returned.
"What?"
"No, Grandma Evelyn. Why would I ever do that?" I hated how natural he sounded. How calm. How believable. But I saw it. The flicker in his eyes. The slight twitch in his jaw. "I have proof," I said softly. "They trace the transactions. They have surveillance footage. They know it was you." Silence. The look on his face changed. That confident expression melted into something harder. Colder. "So what now?" he said, voice flat. I blinked. "Tyler, why would you do this?" "I needed the money," he muttered, avoiding my eyes. "I was in deep with some people."
"I didn't want to ask."
"You'd never understand. You could have come to me. I said, heartbreaking. I would have helped you. But stealing, lying? He stood up suddenly, pushing the chair back with a screech. I didn't have a choice. There's always a choice. He stormed out. And just like that, everything we shared crumbled into dust. I pressed charges. It was the hardest decision I've ever made, but it was also the right one. Tyler was arrested and faced court proceedings. The money, what was left of it, was returned to my account. He had used most of it for gambling and paying off debts. Apparently, he'd been spiraling for months, hiding it from everyone. But I wasn't just everyone. I was the woman who practically raised him. That betrayal cut deeper than any wound. During the trial, he never looked at me. Not once. He pleaded guilty in the end, accepted a reduced sentence through a plea deal, and served just over a year in a low-security facility. I thought the pain would go away with time, but it didn't. If anything, it settled in deeper, like an unwanted guest refusing to leave. Friends asked me if I regretted reporting him. Some said family should handle things privately. But I disagree. Love doesn't mean accepting abuse or deception. Love means standing firm in truth, even when it hurts. 3 years passed before I heard from him again. I received a letter in the mail. No return address, just my name written in a shaky hand. Inside, the letter read, Grandma Evelyn, I don't expect forgiveness. What I did was wrong. I hurt you, and I betrayed the person who believed in me the most. Prison was humbling. It gave me time to think. I know saying, I'm sorry will never be enough, but I wanted you to hear it from me. You didn't deserve what I did to you. I was selfish, desperate, and foolish. I lost someone I loved deeply because of my actions. I miss you every day. I hope life is treating you better than I treated you. Love, Tyler. I read the letter twice, then 3 times. My hands trembled just as they had the day I found out. The ache was still there, but so was something else. Maybe not forgiveness, not yet, but understanding. I never wrote back. I didn't know what to say. And, honestly, maybe he didn't need a response. Maybe he just needed to release the weight of his regret. Today, I still live in the same house. I still tend to the garden. I still make pancakes on Sunday mornings, even if it's just for myself. I carry the memory of betrayal like an old scar. Faint, but still visible. I never imagined my step-grandson would betray me. But I also never imagined that, one day, he might learn from it. That's the thing about people, they can disappoint you, yes. But sometimes they surprise you, too.